everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about the different ways that you can pay for law school. If you guys don't know, my name is Sephora. I'm a licensed attorney and law school coach, and let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So the first and most prominent way to pay for law school is to take out financial aid. So that is your FAFSA, that's F-A-F-S-A. If you took out loans from the government during undergrad, then you're going to be familiar with the FAFSA. And so yes, you can take out loans to pay for law school. So the process is pretty similar as to what you went through in undergrad. You're going to want to go fill out that FAFSA application, send it to your law school. And some law schools, they have one main department that handles all of that. And so that department may be seated within or entrenched in the undergrad school. And so you're just gonna want to get that FAFSA code, their school code, and that's where you're going to send it. So for example, for some schools, instead of sending it to like Georgetown Law, it's going to go to like Georgetown University. That may have changed, but you're going to see it. You're going to want to make sure you get that correct information. When you go on to your law school's website, they will give it to you there. So unlike undergrad, when you are applying to law school, because you will be applying for a graduate loan, because law school is a graduate school, you do not have to list your parents' information. You can, it is optional, but you do not have to. A lot of people choose not to, especially if their parents make tons of money, but their parents will not be funding their law school education. And so then maybe you don't list your parents' information because you want to solely include your financial information, whatever money you are getting from your job. So that's if, again, you want to take out loans or you need loans to take out for law school. So how much loans can you take out? So usually you are allowed to take up to the cost of attendance for loans. And so schools will give you that maximum amount. So schools, and you can find this information on your respective law school's website. It'll say like, okay, the maximum cost of attendance for this year, here's the breakdown, here's the tuition, here's what living expenses are, here's food, here's like whatever it may be. And then they'll give you a total per semester, and then they'll also give you a total per year. And so that per year or per semester total is the max amount of loans you will be able to take out or to qualify for. So for example, if a school says the total cost of attendance for the fall 2025 to 2026 school year is $178,000, then you cannot, for instance, take out $200,000 if the max cost of attendance, as the school has listed there, is $178,000. So usually that is how that works. You can take up to the cost of attendance in loans. And that is how a lot of people finance their law school education. That's why I talk about it all the time. Other people talk about it all the time. If you are going to be taking out six figures, so that's $100,000 or more in law school loans, and you want to make sure that your post-law school career is conducive to allow you to pay that off. Okay. Now, of course, that there's a lot of other nuances there, as there is with everything, such as like public service loan forgiveness and all those different things, but you're going to need to make sure you do your research. But that is the first way that people will pay for law school. The second way is scholarships. And so now there's different categories or different like subparts under this scholarship category. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is need-based scholarships. So need-based scholarships is exactly what it sounds like. It is based on need. It is based on financial need. So law schools will give out need-based scholarships to those who demonstrate need. And usually, I shouldn't say usually because each law school does it differently, but some law schools, there's going to be like an essay. So there's going to be an essay that you need to write and submit along with your application to qualify for these need-based scholarships. Some people or some schools will not have an essay for need-based scholarships, but it's actually going to be something you just check or like say, I want to be considered for need-based scholarships. And then they'll look at your FAFSA information, they'll look at the information you submitted, and they will consider you without an essay. Other schools still yet may just consider everyone for need-based aid. If you have applied for FAFSA or if you've applied for financial aid, then they'll consider everyone for that need-based aid, right? So that's that first camp of scholarships. The second camp of scholarship is merit-based. And so merit-based scholarships is what I talk about all the time and what I help my clients land. So these are based on scholarship. I was gonna say it's based on scholarship, but I'm talking about scholarship, so I'll use a different word. These are based on academic performance, right? So typically it's going to be significantly based on your LSAT score, some weight given to your GPA, and even some looked into at your application materials, and usually in that order, right? And so the higher you perform, the higher you score, the more you can show that you do well academically, then the more likely you are to get merit-based aid from your school. Also, other calculus and other things that come into play here with scholarships from law schools. The earlier you apply with that strong application, heavy on with that strong application, the more likely or the more availability there is going to be for you to get that higher amount of scholarship money. Why? Because law school admissions are rolling admissions. At the time of this recording on September 14th, some of my clients have already received interviews from law schools, right? So again, these are based on rolling admissions. And so let's just use, for example, this is not going to be like concrete, but just hypothetically as an example, let's say a school has $100,000 to give out to students who are applying. Let's say someone submits and they really like that student and they really want them to come. So they give them $50,000 of that and they give that to them in October. Guess what? There's only $50,000 left to go out to. Let's say the pool of applicants is 10 people. They're accepting 10 people. They've given out $50,000 to one person. They've got now $50,000 to split between the remaining 9 people that they want to admit. Now, obviously that's a really, really extreme example, but it's really, really simplified. It's really simplified to as simple as you can get it. If you want to increase your chance of getting scholarships, apply earlier in the cycle with that stronger application so the school has more money to give you. Because maybe it's not that they don't want to give you money, it's that they simply don't have it because you applied too late in the cycle because they gave it all away, right? So anyway, I have a video up on that already. But anyway, it's under the video titled Why You Should Apply to Law School Early, or Why Everyone Should Apply to Law School Early, something like that. So that's that. I think that's your second camp that I said, because I covered need-based, that was merit-based. Now you have your third one, which is a combination of the two, right? So it's need and merit. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a combination of your need and your merit. And so I had one of those scholarships actually for Georgetown. It was a combination. Georgetown calls it, I don't think they changed it, but they called it Opportunity Scholar. So it's based on your merit. So your high LSAT score, your GPA, the strength of your application is what I'm going to categorize that as, along with your need, right? So bringing that together. And so again, that's another reason why you want to showcase the strength of your application, why you want to be applying earlier in the cycle and increasing your chances of getting that money. Okay, so that's that first camp underneath scholarships and those 3 subparts. The next part that you have is outside scholarships. Again, another thing I help my clients with. So, well, actually, let me pause. Before I jump to outside scholarships, let's jump back for a second to still under scholarships from the school. Schools also offer, interest-based scholarships. And again, so interest-based scholarships are, like, say you're interested in public interest. Some schools will have essays that you can write to qualify for those public interest scholarships. So different schools have are you committed to serving in the public interest? And write an essay detailing your interest on a specific issue and why you hope to practice. So I know I'm not going to give law school names. I'm not going to do that. But I know a lot of my clients have written and I've reviewed essays specifically tailored to specific interest-based scholarships, right? And so the public interest is one, but other schools have some that's like a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Other schools have some that's a commitment to technology law or IP law, right? There's just a variety of different things. Other schools have like adversity-based scholarships. So you can write an essay based on overcoming a challenge or adversity, and you can apply for that scholarship by writing that essay. So I just wanted to make sure I highlight that different schools have like interest-based scholarships or kind of scholarships that are based on specific adversity, challenges, like what you hope to do post law school, right? So just so many different subcategories there, and you should really tackle this after the main parts of your application are done. And this is, this is something that, again, it's not kind of like do this first and foremost. You want to make sure your application is strong first and foremost, and getting to that in the requisite amount of time and leaving yourself enough time to still then write these additional scholarship essays if you choose. Okay, so now we're going to jump to the outside scholarships. This is exactly what it sounds like. These are scholarships not offered by the school, but offered by an outside entity, which means you're going outside of your law school and you're going to some other random, maybe not random, but some other entity, like I know Blueprint, LSAC. I post lists of these scholarships all the time in my community, but there's tons of outside scholarships that you usually do have to write essays for to qualify for, right? And so doing that, again, that's another way for you to get more money to go to law school. So far I've covered financial aid, and then I've covered scholarships. So under scholarships, you have both your merit-based, your need-based, and a combination of the two. You also have what I'm gonna call your interest-based, and then thirdly, you have outside scholarships. So those are the three: financial aid, school scholarships, and then outside scholarships. Fourth, you have paying out of pocket. Now, I don't know too many people pay out of pocket for law school, but I do know they exist, right? And that just means exactly what it means. It's you're paying out of pocket to go to law school. And that just means maybe you are looking at the cost of attendance, or you and your parents are looking at the cost of attendance, and you're like, okay, I can afford that and I'm gonna go. So that's the fourth way, and probably the least common way I would say that people are paying for law school. The more common ways are the first three examples that I gave you. And I will say too, some law schools also have like an additional, like their own kind of a thing that you need to fill out to qualify for, or to make sure that you are considered for financial aid. And so you are going to want to make sure that you pay attention to that for your requisite school, especially if you are applying for that aid, especially if you do need that aid to attend. So those are the four main ways that people are paying for law school. I hope this video was very informative for you. If you're applying to law school soon and you would like coaching, make sure to click the link in the description box. And we do have an upcoming masterclass. It may have been passed by the time this video goes live, but no worries. You can always get the replay. In that masterclass, I showed you guys how you can use law school to change your life. I told you the exact process. I told you the step-by-step ways to get there. I told you what you need to be doing now for fall 2025 and fall 2026. So even if you missed that masterclass, you can still go to toppingthecurve.com/masterclass and send us an email to request that replay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you on my next one. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Topping the Curve. Bye.